This episode of Playlog, we're doing our monthly book club. We're reviewing Spiritfarer in 2024. Hey guys, CGDannyB back again with another episode of Playlog, the podcast where we talk all things indie gaming. But of course, I can't talk indie games alone because that'd be super boring. So I've got my partner in crime, the Play Nice Kid themselves, Tofr. What's poppin', homie?
I'm excited. I'm excited because we have a special guest, Danny.
Of course.
Introduce her.
And with us, we have our special guest hitting us with the cozy gaming, board gaming, and general gaming vibes. I think I was supposed to say girly gaming vibes because that's in your Instagram bio, but it somehow autocorrected to general. Unless that one of y'all changed that. I don't really know. You're messing with me. Welcome at Daffodil94, aka Daphne.
Yeah. Perfect, 10 out of 10.
All right, perfect. Cool. I'm aiming for each time I'm going to go down a score. So like next they're going to be like, it's Daphne. That's like, ooh, that was like a 9. Then I'll hit you like an 8. And then once I hit like 5, we're hitting like Daphne again. Then as we go further and further, I'm going to like, and it's just going to be not going to... They're not even going to be words anymore. Oh boy. Now today is going to be our special episode where we talk about Spiritfarer, our monthly book club game. But first, I wanted to give people an opportunity. There you go, I'm at the 5. Daphne. For anyone who may not know who you are, do you want to like introduce yourself and tell us how you end up getting around these parts?
I'm Daphne. French pronunciation. You're trying really hard, I know. I'm actually Tofr's friend, and I got to know the Playlog podcast through him. And actually tonight is kind of like full circle moment because the very first episode I saw, I remember Tofr being surrounded by moving boxes, and tonight I'm surrounded by moving boxes. So
Yo,
full circle moment.
That's the best, right? That's the best. Now, I hope Tofr's helping you move because I remember Tofr being like, as soon as they finished an episode of the podcast, they're like, I got to move all my stuff real quick. And as far as I understand, Tofr's like the go-to for helping people move in these last couple of weeks.
Yeah, he probably is going to help me, right?
Definitely. Not probably, definitely.
Definitely. Okay.
And that will be the 4th house move I do this year.
You got to start charging, brother. You got to start charging. Yeah. I'm expecting like, if the podcast thing doesn't work out, the Tofr moving company, we could work something out there.
Listen, if I ever learn how to drive, I could totally do that.
Easy. Now, so we talked about this before. We always just kind of pass it by. Is it just like, we live in a place we don't need to drive? Is it just like cars are scary? Like, was there like just a reason we don't drive?
It's a little bit of both.
Fair enough.
A little bit of both. Yeah, cars go fast.
They do. They're so fast.
I'm a slow person.
So it's pretty nice. You got like a scooter? You like to walk everywhere?
I walk everywhere.
I get it. Walking is nice though. So I'm gonna tot out. But I digress. Now, before we get into the topic of the show, quick reminder, on November 9th, I almost said 19th. On November 9th, myself along with 3 buddies will be hosting our 24-hour extra live stream. The stream will feature 4 of us playing video games, doing challenges, and even smashing eggs over each other's head all throughout the night as we raise money for the Penn State Health Children's Hospital in Hershey, Pennsylvania. If you can contribute, we'd be more than grateful to have you come on out and support the cause. And if you can't contribute financially, no worries. Just hang out, keep us motivated, and share the word on social media for more helpful people to help donate to the cause. So be sure to tune in November 9th through November 10th for our 24-hour live stream. Again, I'll get you guys an exact time later, but for now, just know it's that day, okay? Anywho, Zazzles. I didn't do timestamps. That's right. Manual labor's good. Now, now to break in the ice, remember, you can write into the show and give us your questions about gaming, content creation, life, and etc. And we'll read them right here on the show, just like Aid Medic did. Oh, God, here we go. Aid Medic writes in and asks, 24 hours, no need for any kind of breaks. How many games could you play, and which ones would you choose to play in order to save your sanity for a full day of screen time? I grabbed this like 30 seconds before we went live. So I had to sit here, and I'm trying to think like 24 hours to play, and we're live, and Medic's here, so we can ask for clarification if we need it. So, Medic, are we talking just beating the games? Like, how many games can I beat in 24 hours? Is that the crux of this question? Because at that point, all I'm saying is, yeah, we could probably just play a bunch of those, like, My Name is Mayo games. I could probably beat like 40 of those in a day. You guys ever play My Name is Mayo?
Never heard of it.
Oh my god, it's the best. It's just a tapping game. You just hold the button on the controller and it's just you tapping a jar of mayo, and after every so many taps it'll like give you the option to change the skins. There's like sexy bikini mayo, there's like cougar print scarf mayo, and they're just, dude, they're deep. They're not at all, but they're easy platinums.
Okay.
Let's see. All right, so beat the games, yes. Okay, so essentially it sounds like how many games could you beat in 24 hours? Are you brave enough to give an answer?
One.
One? Do you have a game in mind?
I tend to hyper focus on a game. I can't put myself to like playing multiple games in one day. I choose one and then I play it for months on end.
I'm so jealous. I would get so many more games done if I could do that. I would get so many more games done. How about you, Tofr? You complete more than one game in a day?
Probably, but the thing is, I yesterday I made a list of the games I still need to play this year, and most of them are about 15 hours long.
Okay.
So I guess, as an answer to this question, I would be like 1.7 of a game.
Okay, we didn't do decimals here. Tofr doing the math.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
I think depending on what they are, right? Because like I'm looking at my PlayStation 4 upstairs. I have like a Memoir Blue installed, which is a recent one. I'm like, I could probably knock it out in like an hour. A bunch of those short, like walking sim type experiences. I could probably, with a handful of those, I could probably hit 5 or 6 on a good day. You know, no breaks, anything, just 24 hours straight. I think I'm a god like that. I think I could do it.
Maybe you should prove it with like a 24-hour stream soon.
You know what? You're right. I'm going to tell the guys we're canceling everything we had planned, all the fun events. Don't show up. I'm just seeing how many games can I beat in 24 hours to raise money for the kids. Fierce Axolotl asked, does Spirit City count? Do you beat Spirit City? I've never played Spirit City. I don't know if you beat that one, but like, if you can find a way to beat it, sure, I'd say so. I say it counts for you. Ah, boy, oh boy. But Medic, thank you so much for writing in with that question. We probably would have had more time to think about it if I wasn't slow with putting it in the doc, but it's okay. It's all right. We got you. But we are going to move on to the topic of the show, the reason we're all here today, and that is to review Spiritfarer in 2024. Quick background on the game before we get going, in case anyone has no idea what this game is, or happens to be hopping in like, oh, I want to know a little more about this. And I'm scrambling to put stuff on the screen, so don't worry about it. Just let me do my thing. Spiritfarer is a story-rich management game where you're responsible for ferrying lost spirits to the afterlife, but not before helping them with the final tasks that they need to complete before finally moving on. Developed by Thunder Lotus, who's currently working on 33 Immortals, Spiritfarer was originally released on August 18th, 2020. Almost a year later, on December 12th, 2021, we got the Farewell Edition, including all the additional content and 3 new passengers for your ship. Currently sporting an overwhelmingly positive review score on Steam with over 34,000 reviews, Spiritfarer's it's a game. It's a game.
It is a game.
It is a game.
So I think I'll start with Tofr. Tofr, up front, borderline review. What do you think of Spiritfarer?
Oh, it's the worst game ever. No, I'm kidding.
Clip it, baby. That's the clip. That's the TikTok.
No, I think this is one of those once in a generation games.
Mm-hmm.
That's just that special. It's the combination of gameplay mechanics with touching stories and perfect music that only happens once in a while.
Yeah, it's so great. How about you, Daphne? What do you think about a Spiritfarer?
Spiritfarer actually is the game that pulled me back into gaming just when I was about to quit.
Oh, no. Okay.
So I didn't really like it.
Fair enough.
I loved it. No, there was actually a certain point where I just couldn't find joy. Joy might not be the right word for Spiritfarer, but
listen, we get it.
I didn't enjoy video games much anymore, and then I just happened to bump into this one.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember it was like a couple of months after my kitten, that was named Stella, died.
Aww.
And I remember I was like, oh, this person is called Stella, I'm gonna play this game. And then they introduced the kitten that's called Daffodil, which is my gamer tag. And I was like, okay, this is my type of game. And then it ended up amazing.
Yeah. So now, was Daffodil named after the cat, or was just you already Daffodil and it just happened to work out?
It just happened to work out.
Perfect. Oh, that's so great.
Sign
I
of
love
the
that.
universe.
Exactly. Yeah, this a while back, probably back in 2020, was my like office desk lunch break game. The moment I'm like, it's 12-inch lunch break, it was keyboard to the side, switch out, Joy-Cons in hand, and I'm like pulling up the wiki, knocking this stuff out, trying to collect things for everybody and get characters, all the different items that they're asking for, take it where they need to go. And it's just one of those management sim type games that I love so much because it's so much more than that. It's not just the do the thing, complete the task, and move on to the next one. It is that, but you have all these characters with feelings and like different stories of how they got to where they're at, how they're trying to get where they're going, and like you're just bawling the entire time, wishing you could just you give them the hug in game. But I'm like, if I could hug this pompous ass lion in real life just to make him feel a little bit better, I'd do it. And this game, it nails everything it sets out to do, and I love it so much.
Yeah.
What a magical time. That's it, guys. Thank you for watching. Let me see here. So first of all, I had so our experience with Spiritfarer was this was nobody's first time playing it, yeah?
Nope.
Okay. Yeah, I think I had played this once on Switch, and I am finished playing it now on a PlayStation 4, getting that platinum baby. Did you both happen to play it on Steam, Switch, PlayStation, Xbox? Steam.
2.5 times.
Plus this one or prior to this one?
No, plus this one.
Wow.
So I finished the game completely twice, and then I did half a run once.
And emotionally, how was that for you? Because I can't fathom the world doing that again and again.
You'd think it'd get easier. It does not. It does not at all.
Did you find yourself?
I can confirm that.
Yeah? Did you play them multiple times?
This was my third playthrough.
God damn, people. This was only my second.
Yeah.
Did either of you find yourself finding more and more things this time around, being it like the second and a half, third time? Like I didn't notice it the first time?
Yeah.
Okay. I definitely felt that doing it just for my second time, especially with Bruce and Mikey. And we'll swing around to talking about them later, but those lovable bastards. God, what a freaking trip. But let me see here. We all, I guess, have something physical to showcase about Spiritfarer. Do you want to get that out of the way now and take a peek at what everyone brought to the table?
Yes. Go for it.
Let me see here. I didn't open my stuff. First off, I have the software warranty for my physical copy of Spiritfarer that expires October 11th in 2022. So this is no longer good.
Oh, no.
But I have my physical copy of Spiritfarer that I got from the clearance bin for like $5, which is really great.
Nice.
It also comes with the soundtrack, which you guys can't have because I haven't redeemed it. A bunch of freaking stamps that I'm in love with, which I never really looked at. These are going on my notebook tonight. I'm going to tell you that right now. Nice. I need little Stanley. I love Stanley so much.
Love him.
And then postcards I forgot to open before the show, so now I have to do that. We're all looking at these for the first
Unboxing
time.
video.
Unboxing, baby. Like, oh, it's a little. Is that Hummingbird? I think. I'm not sure. The mountainsides. The shrines. They're falling apart. Anyway, yeah. That's my fun, goofy stuff I have for Spiritfarer. But what about you guys?
Cool.
Go
ahead.
Soundtrack. I have the soundtrack, but on a records right here.
Oh, I love that art.
Is this even visible? Am I in screen?
Yeah, you're good. You're golden.
So yeah, this gorgeous little piece.
Oh.
Because as Tofr already mentioned, the music in this game is like, please don't, I'm a police here.
Yeah, you're gone.
Yeah, the music is just amazing.
So good.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I think this is actually also my very, very first record ever from a video game soundtrack.
Was it the one that's just like, now I'm addicted, now I get them all, now I find all these different records and I need a whole collection of them?
Not yet.
Okay.
But I did get the limited edition Baldur's Gate soundtrack as well.
That's a dangerous one.
Mm-hmm.
Down by the river. Uh-oh.
Exactly.
How about you, Tofr? We got some physical Spiritfarer paraphernalia.
Yeah, I didn't buy anything because fuck the devs. No.
Honestly, clip it. Chat.
No, I have this dear friend. I have this dear friend who I met for the first time this year, and she drew me a little Stella and Daffodil.
It's so cute.
Isn't it? Isn't it?
I love it. Oh.
So yeah, that was in case you were wondering, yes, it was Daphne.
What? Who knew?
Yes.
This combination. It's like you people know each other before this episode. I don't understand. But let's see here. So I guess we'll talk about the boat, the gameplay, everything about Spiritfarer here. For anyone who maybe we saw the trailer and still didn't quite wrap your head around it, the way the game works is you are essentially you are playing as Stella. You have your cat companion Daffodil, and you are the new Spiritfarer. Like the whole game starts with Charon being like, "Hey, I'm out. See ya." They move to the afterlife, and now you're given this boat to sail around. What is the river Styx? But it's represented as more of an ocean than an actual river, and you're sailing from island to island meeting these spirits. They're like, "Hey, I'm your aunt, I'm your uncle, I'm your cousin, I'm the dude you saw at such and such place once upon a time," and they're all they've all died in, we're gonna get layers here of the real world, right? The real world for them, but now they're in, we'll say
Limbo?
the queue to limbo. Yeah, it was like the queue to heaven, hell type deal, like before the afterlife. So we'll go, yeah, limbo. But they all have unfinished tasks they want to accomplish or things they need to get over emotionally before they move on to like the final step of the afterlife. And that's basically your gameplay loop, is sailing this boat around and finding all the different things that they need to accomplish before moving on and being, officially sent off to the afterlife. But Tofr, do you want to talk about like the boat and kind of like it is a character, I guess, and how you kind of like use the boat in the game?
The boat is where you will build houses for all of your passengers, and you get to like arrange everything in the way that you want. It's you have to upgrade your boat as you're playing, so you can place more buildings, because not only are you placing the houses, you're also placing the windmill, kitchen, fields, gardens, stuff like that. Because you'll need all of those things to like complete the missions that these characters set for you to help them on their way.
Oh yeah. So yeah, like Tofr saying, you get all these different like pieces of equipment and different facilities. The each spirit kind of brings in a new like, here's the loom. I was losing the word. The loom you get with Gwen, and like the wood shop you get with Atoll. The smithy, which I still never figured out exactly how to use the hammer properly without breaking it from Gustav.
Oh my god.
Yeah, like there was a point in time where I think I remember being good with it, but I'm like, oh, I just charged, and the moment I hit, bam, and it's like, nope, I broke it. It's gone. Okay, I don't know what to do. But yeah, I guess Daphne will ask, like, for the boat, would you have like a favorite part of the boat, a favorite like facility, a favorite like mechanic as far as sailing, or is there any like highlights for the boat that you'd kind of want to like bring up?
Oof. Well, definitely the smithy I hated the most. I quite enjoyed the sawmill though. I really liked the following the patterns and trying to perfect each and every one of them. Yeah.
So you both played this on Steam. Did you have to use the mouse for that, or was that arrows to maneuver that?
No, Xbox controller in my case.
Okay. Got it. That makes more sense. I was really bad with like some of them. I was like, I could swoop it, but I think the pine was like the last one you get that's very angular. That's very I butchered that so many times, just not being snappy enough.
Yeah, you have to really anticipate with the sawmill.
Yeah. I guess what is this when we want to bring up our boats? You want to save the boats for later? I don't know what seems like the best move with our boats. I guess we're talking about it, so
might as well show it
now.
Yeah. Bring up the boats. All right, we'll show the boats, guys. So this was actually,
because I have to say, wait, before you go into it,
okay,
I have to say you showed the trailer for the game earlier.
Yeah.
And the trailer opens with the boat.
Mm-hmm.
And the buildings in the trailer were placed so badly. It was trash.
That's
Like my OCD could not handle it.
Let's find it. Let's find that first. Let's go here. So we have our beautiful boat from the trailer.
Look at it.
Horrible. I hate it.
They leave so much space. Now I don't know about you guys. I despised the ladders. If there were ladders, I was like, nope, everything's too high. It needs to come back down. I can't have all this space. I had to make sure everything was as compact as it could be. Thunderload is obviously not feeling the same about that. But so Daphne here had the lovely idea of everyone taking a screenshot of their boat towards the end of the game and kind of showing them off here today. I guess we'll start. I just went them in order here. So I have mine. This is right outside of the Ever door, which is where you drop off everybody. So the water's red, which I don't know why it's so like blown up on the screen here. Let's shrink it just a little bit. Sure, graphics are weird. But yeah,
Says the graphic designer.
I think I made the window too wide. I think I have to fix that. I'm not sure what happened there, but it'll figure it out. But yeah, you guys, I put my picture in the Discord call, and you guys just like, why you got so many orchards? Why there's so many in there? And I could have sworn once upon a time. Now, listen, I was going for the platinum, and one of the trophies for the platinum is to cook every recipe in the game. So when I got to the end and I had like a fourth of them, I was like, now it's time for mass production. So I made 3 kitchens, and I didn't have the motivation to get, I think it was just more lightning in a bottle, because I was like, I don't feel like doing it. So I just left 1 kitchen blank. It's like the base one, and then 2 that are like maxed out. So I used the left one to be like, single ingredient, smack, I'll be back in 10 minutes, and then move to the next one, and then put in double ingredient, smack, double ingredient, smack. But then I needed the orchards so I can get the pears and the cherries and everything else to make all the pies. So I need to have all the orchards because you can't change the trees. You have to like delete the whole facility for that. And that's too much work for me.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. But then I put all this
a
stuff
couple
here.
of times.
It's so much. I sat in there. I'm like, I have to be able to cut down these trees, right? There has to be a way so I can move these on. But you couldn't. So that's why I have 5. It was just easier on my life.
I do really like how you put them horizontally.
Thank you.
I don't know why, but I never thought of that ever, and I feel so dumb for not thinking. It's so handy. You can just run across.
Just run across. Exactly. And that's what I ended up doing towards the end. I think what I ended up probably doing at the beginning was I stacked everything vertical because I had like 1 of everything, 1 field, 1 whatever. And I kept all the houses on the bottom. But progressively, as I'm sending people off and you can't get rid of their house, I was like, let me leave it at the bottom. So when I do the thunderstorm and I do whatever, I don't have to climb to the top of the boat to check in and say yes or no. But then towards the end, I'm like, let's put all the useful stuff on the left, all the houses on the right, and just kind of stuck with it. And I'm like, I like how cluttered it is and how much space there is at the top for me to just not use at all.
I like it.
Thank you. It's my favorite boat ever. But next up we got Tofr's boat. So Tofr, you want to tell us about your boat? Oh my god, it's all just right.
I've got a question for Tofr.
Okay.
Why is there so much space in the beginning of the boat?
Listen.
Why did you not take 1 single building and put it there?
Because I already did that. As you can see on the right side, you have 3 buildings. Those are the last 3 buildings that I added. I just tried to, like, I was playing Tetris with these buildings, right?
I see.
I was trying to, like, one has this nook on the left side, and then the other one has this awning on the right side. And I was like, I'm going to fit all of this together as compact as possible. And then I got a bigger boat, and I was like, oh, shit. Now I have all this extra space. And I was like, nah, just I'm speedrunning this game as it is.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna leave it.
Just leave it. Just put the stuff where it goes.
Yeah.
I'm trying to, like, I'm okay. You don't have the zip line in there or the little.
No.
You're like, old man Tofr's just here. I'm gonna walk everywhere.
Yeah.
Just like that.
That's just me. Like, someone
to be fair, Danny, you did put them in, but they're not really useful though.
Oh yeah, no, not at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was just a trophy to make sure I put 1 of everything. So when I could, I slapped them up. Honestly, the zip line, anytime I put a new building, it's like, this is going to get obstructed. I'm like, okay, move it higher. So it was just out of the way. Yeah. Oh, that's
Nice.
great. I love it. I love it. Your little cow just chilling right in the middle, right underneath the chickens.
Yeah.
There's so many eggs.
It makes sense, right?
Yeah, you put them all together. But now where are your sheep?
I only have 2
He's
sheep.
got 2.
Oh, I
above
see.
the
I see him
kitchen,
there.
think.
I see him. I see him there. Just isolated the sheep from the other barn animals. That's crazy, Tofr. You would have put them.
Listen, they were fighting all the time. I had to keep them apart.
That's weird. That's not a mechanic I'm familiar with. You just got sheep fighting.
It might have just happened in my head, but
Ah, gotcha.
moving on.
Anyway, moving on. Now, Daphne sent us. Oh my god.
Before anyone says anything,
Uh huh.
the chickens in my case were fighting, so I isolated them.
You guys might have a different version of the game because my farm animals were not fighting, so I don't know what this is. I don't know what we're talking about.
No, I'm gonna be completely honest. I had a plan with this building, and that was all inhabitants, including animals, to the left, and then all industrial things to the right. And it was like 10 minutes before our call when I realized I put the chickens with the industrial machines. I'm not quite sure why, but they're part of the industrial area now.
Their production, I get it. Just
Their
put them over there.
production.
Yeah.
Produce
egg factories.
Yep.
Egg factories, exactly.
That's
Chickens don't have
fantastic.
feelings.
They don't, honestly. We wouldn't eat them if they did, you know? I think that's the logic that we use.
Now you're not saying clip it, chat.
Of course. I love it. Hypno Brand was like, Danny missed out on the PvP edition of Spiritfarer, which honestly breaks my heart a little bit. Could you imagine just a world where we just like sail our boats around and we have our ancestors and other family members just like attacking other ships? That's the game I need. Let's put 33 Immortals on hold and make this Spiritfarer PvP that everyone's talking about.
Sea of Spiritfarers. Goddamn.
Oh, dude, I played so hard. But of course, Daphne gave us 2 beautiful sights. We also have the night view, which God, the sky in this game is so beautiful.
Yeah.
Ah,
All of the visuals. Is that like every single moment in the game you could screenshot and use as a wallpaper, and you'd be like, "That's a great wallpaper."
yep. I probably have, if not all of them, most of the people going to the Everdoor with the little glowing gold character and the ring going around. I'm like screenshot of like every single one of
same.
them. Yep. They're so
Me
good.
too. And also, each time they hugged at the end.
Yup,
I screenshotted that as well.
Yeah, I think the one I got, and like this could probably lead us into talking about the characters, right? But like Elena, who is, I think, X the DLC, fundamentally the last character you can get, and she doesn't like to be hugged. She doesn't like to be touched. So like, as you have her on the ship, you don't see her. Like you don't get to see her hug you. Until that moment you like take her to the afterlife, and that's like the first time you get to see like her like ears pucker up and she's like, good job, I'm proud of you. And I was like, oh wow, you like, forgive me everyone. I'm like, you're kind of a bitch, but I this is really nice. So yeah, but that was like such a like heartwarming little moment. I loved that.
And it's such a cute hug as well.
Yeah. Oh, it's so cute. It's so cute. I don't have the screenshot saved on my computer. I should have done that too. Let me see. Switch Highly, what's poppin', homie? Welcome. But yeah, so I guess if we're gonna look at the passengers, so there's, oh my god, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe they count as 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 passengers that you can get onto your boat. Each of them come with different stories, different narratives, different, like, I have a favorite food, I have things I dislike. Sometimes the different passengers, like, I hate when this person talks, I hate when this person breathes, please don't put me next to them because they're so loud. And you kind of have to spend your time with them on the ship, keeping them happy by giving them things that make them happy. After you feed them, giving them a hug, and doing everything else. So did you guys have favorite passengers that you want to talk? I probably should have addressed one person in particular, so start with Daphne. Do you have a favorite passenger for
I've been talking about this one with Tofr before the stream. I don't know, it's so difficult. I think like Bruce and Mickey, is it Mickey or Mikey? I don't know.
Mickey? Yep.
Mickey.
Yep.
Bruce
I had
and
to
Mickey
remember.
are like definitely in my top 3. I remember hating them at first, but then you start to learn their story, and then it's like, oh, These poor guys.
Yeah.
And then obviously Stanley. I think anyone who does not put Stanley in their top 3 is like a horrible person.
My little
Obvious.
man.
I didn't put him in my top 3.
Tofr, we can't be
How do I do
friends
this?
anymore.
There we go. All right, we're good. Now. We're good. We're good. We're good. All right. Yeah. No, I agree. For Spiritfarer, it seems like the red guys are my favorites because I love Bruce and Mickey, Stanley, and then Gustav is another one that I absolutely love.
Okay.
And I definitely want to talk about their stories and stuff. So we'll get into more spoiler stuff here for anyone who hasn't finished the game, but we'll give you that heads up as we get into it. But since Tofr can't pick Stanley, I'd love to hear what other possible characters we could have picked.
I picked 3.
Mm-hmm.
I have Summer because
Okay.
I really enjoyed her story of like, first she has like this redemption from working in this kind of toxic industry,
Right.
using lots of chemicals and stuff, and then she moves away from that. But then there's tragedy because she falls ill, and I liked that story arc a lot.
Yeah.
I love how she's in touch with like all living things. She really respects nature now, and I don't know, that really touched me somehow.
Yeah.
Then I also picked Astrid.
Okay.
Because I mean, union people are the best people. But also she's just this really warm character. She has lots of love to give, and it doesn't always get returned in the way that she deserves, which is kind of tragic.
Giovanni.
But she's also kind of a bad bitch.
Big bad bitch.
Exactly. And I feel like she gives the best hugs in the game.
She does.
I always dock points for the shock, right? I know they make one animation, they do whatever, but you have the summer like, oh my god, give me that hug. But every time you hug her, she's like, what? Okay. And I'm like, the second half does look super cozy, but it's the fact that she's shocked every time I give her a hug. I'm like, Astrid, come on, keep up now. Get used to it. But I get it. She's definitely one of the fluffiest ones.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And as a third pick, I went for Daria, and that's
okay.
I know that she's probably not gonna be most people's favorite character, but since she's dealing with mental health issues and has spent time in a psychiatric ward, it just hit really close to home for me, and I really felt that part of the story, and I wasn't expecting it. Like, and I didn't encounter her in my first 2 playthroughs, and then I ended up at the psychiatric hospital, and I was like, oh, okay, this is fine.
Yeah, that was a lot to unpack. So the first time I played was so close to launch, like none of the expansions were there. So there was no Jackie Daria, there was no Beverly, there was no Lily. So these are all characters like I didn't get to experience before, and this was the first time seeing those. I was a big fan of Jackie and Daria. I thought they were really cool characters, and especially how Jackie kind of reflects. I guess we got a little more into spoilers here. So ears plugged just in case now. But Jackie is also I say also. So we find out that Stella is like a nurse in her previous life, right? Where she's taking care of people she's kind of ushering them to be like, hey, it's okay. Like death happens. And that's how most of these characters kind of stick around and know Stella. And we get to see flashbacks of like her meeting them in real life. And we have Bruce hanging around and like seeing Mickey, his brother, who is like basically immobile. He can't do anything, who is like not dead, but might is like on the verge of it. And that's how Bruce has such this loud personality of like bring attention to everybody in the hospital. And like, I definitely think like the Boston attitude every time I watch Bruce fly around. But seeing Jackie be the nurse assistant who can't quite do that, who is kind of broken every single time. They're like, I always have to help more people. I can't really do it anymore. Was like a really cool parallel to see between the two. I'm like, damn, that's a lot. That's a lot to unpack.
Mm-hmm. It really impacted me because both of my grandfather and grandmother both worked as psychiatric nurses.
Okay.
And my grandfather was like this really caring character who like everybody loved because he had so much love to give. And he was also a big cat lover, so he's really the Stella for me. And then my grandmother has no feelings. Like she does not know what empathy means.
Yeah.
and she was working as a psychiatric nurse, which just blows my mind.
Okay.
But I've like, there was this thing with my grandfather being a kind of Stella and my grandmother being a kind of Jackie.
Yeah. Aw. I like those comparisons. I don't know that I necessarily have like a personal connection with like, oh, this character reminds me of this person in my family. And I think I'm in a very privileged spot where like I've lost family members, but none that I was particularly close to. So like I haven't experienced a super dramatic loss in my life yet. And I know when that happens, I'm going to be a 30-year-old baby, like not really knowing how to unpack that. And I think Spiritfarer is like a really good outlet to kind of like prepare me for that, I think. So family, don't die, please. Just stick around. That'd be cool. We don't have to worry about it. Oh man, Daphne, are there any of these character stories you kind of like resonate with or really enjoy, or ones that like you might want to talk about and be like, this one really hit home? Or
honestly, just like you, I haven't really experienced loss much either. So there's not really like any situation I really resonate with. But just I don't know. I'm a very empathetic person.
Empathetic. You know, you need to put the emphasis on it.
That one. So like, even though I have not experienced these kinds of losses IRL yet, every single story just made me feel as if I had actually lived it.
Yeah.
Like, oftentimes after I play the games at night and then log off and I go to bed and I just cry myself to sleep. Just afterwards, just
a good cry to sleep is pretty nice though. You know, sometimes it just hits different. It hits different.
Yeah. No, I don't know. And for me, mostly, I do have a big family, but I'm not really close to many people in my family.
Right.
And they kind of, this is gonna sound so stupid, but they kind of felt like family to me. And like having to hearing them like, especially at the end at the Everdoor, telling you that they love you and they're so proud of you. Like, I just started bawling. Like,
yeah,
nobody's ever proud of me.
Yeah. No, 1000%. I was multitasking most of this game. I'd have like Critical Role on one screen and then playing the game on the other. And the moment I would see one of them like, hey, I think I'm good, I'm ready to go to the Everdoor, like everything stopped. Lights off, Critical Role was paused. There was one, I think I was taking, I was going to say a toll, but that's not right. I was going to take, I think it was Bruce and Mickey I was taking. And I just had this frame of Matt Mercer, like freeze frame, weird jaw on his face. I'm like, I'm sorry, Matt, I need to minimize you quick. But yeah, as you're taking each one of them, I'm like listening to the music, like the Everdoor track playing, and just like performing at my desk, watching these characters like give their final like monologue. And I'm like, fuck, these all hurt so much. I don't want you to be sad. But like even Stanley's the most, I think, because like Stanley quite literally is like an 8-year-old child who died so young, and like he is so joyous and like bouncy all over the boat, and he's just like, oh my god, could we try these toys? Like, I see you have all these different facilities, like, can we put an egg in the crusher? Oh, that didn't work. Can we put this and this? And he's like, just wants to put all the dumb shit in the wrong places. And then he wants to put on a play for everybody, and everyone's like, that was pretty good for a kid. He's like, so it was bad. Oh, I'm not good at anything. Like, I'm like, stop, Stanley, you're fine, you're 8. But taking him to the Everdoor, there's like, I forget the exact phrasing, but like, he's like, I don't know how this is going to be. I'm kind of scared, but I hope it's just like falling asleep. It just kind of like happens. And I'm like, fuck, Stanley, stop. It's a lot. And like, they're all so, like, all so powerful in their own individual ways. Cause some are so like, they're kind of keeping in, like not being super like, I'm not going to talk too much, but you can tell I'm kind of in a mood right now. But then kind of bouncing back to like Bruce and Mickey as well, who are also in a similar spot of like, I think the narrative is Mickey is in a dramatic car accident. And yeah, it's basically immobile. And Bruce as the hummingbird who is talking through the giant water buffalo, who the entire time doesn't really walk, doesn't talk, doesn't do anything. It's all this hummingbird carrying around a giant water buffalo, showing that like Mickey basically no longer exists, and Mickey's memory exists solely through Bruce telling his story and speaking for him, which is a lot to like.
Yeah, I think Mickey ended up in a coma after like drunk driving, and then like Bruce was constantly by his side in the hospital. But then at a certain point, I started realizing but Bruce is also in limbo. So is he also no longer alive? And then I started researching, and I read somewhere that it's been speculated that he was so broken from the loss of his brother that he committed suicide, and that just killed me inside.
Yeah. Fuck,
that's like
Bruce, no.
Yeah.
It's rough. It's not for the weak of heart, guys. This is a lot. There's a lot in this game. There's a lot of emotional stuff to deal with.
It's not a happy joy game.
It's not.
Although I do think that the game somehow manages to balance the light-hearted moments with the heavier themes really well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like you're depressed all of the time. No. You have these great moments with the characters, and that just makes the sad times even sadder.
Mm-hmm.
Don't underestimate me, Tofr. I'm depressed every day.
Same though. Same. Twinsies.
But I think you're right in like I think Alice and Beverly are probably the two that I think of the most that have a very similar like progression of their story. Like they're both like old lady kind of losing her mind, but Alice is a lot like more hard hitting, where she's like she has dementia. She thinks you're her daughter, I believe. Annie. Whereas Beverly, like every single day is like, could you finally build me a house? And you're literally standing there for a second. You're like,
never mind.
You just walked in. She's like, oh yeah, you're right. Never mind. And then like, could you build my facility? Again, you're standing right there. I'm like, okay, this one's like cute and goofy. Like this is funny senile. But then Alice is like, my legs can't handle this. Could you carry me to the edge of the boat? I'm like, Alice, no, please. My little hedgehog lady. She's precious. I'd die for her.
Yeah. I also love how we now have a thing called funny senile. That's something I had never considered, but
some good funny senile, like the grandpa is like, where's my lemonade? Or some crazy shit, how it is. Oh man. Any other characters you guys like maybe want to harp? I feel like Atoll's another good one to talk about. I think he has a powerful message with the way his story ends.
Mm-hmm.
I was so angry at him the first time I played this game. The moment I realized he was gone, and I didn't get to say goodbye, I just quit the game for like a few days.
Yeah, so no, that's valid.
I don't like not having closure.
Yeah. So I think for the story for Atoll, he in real life is your uncle, I think.
Yeah.
Actual uncle. And then they moved to France together, I think is... or wherever
they moved to northeastern France,
okay.
And then he suddenly disappeared.
Yeah.
While Stella was like in her early 20s, I think.
Yep. And then she went to North America.
She never really found out what happened, and so she and her family then moved to North America, I think.
Right. Yeah. So
he did it twice?
Twice. Yes.
Twice.
So he does it in real life. But he's my great uncle. He was the most easy one to take care of. He was never mad about anything.
Yeah, he was.
He would eat anything. He's like, gross? Never. I'll eat whatever you put in front of me.
I think on his wiki it says likes everything, dislikes nothing or something. Like he was so easy to take
That's
care
my
of.
man. That's Atoll. But yeah, like all the other characters, when they're like ready to move on, like I think I've accomplished everything that we need to do. They'll be like, take me to the Everdor. You get in the boat. You sail to the red waters, you give him the final hug, and that's it. Atoll's kind of like, I think I'm almost ready, but I want to have like one last big family dinner. And then you have that family dinner, you go to bed, and you wake up and he's gone. He's just left. You don't get the closure, the final hug, and like of all the characters, I think Atoll is like by script meant to be there kind of the longest, because his whole thing for his progression is like, I want this food, but I can't get that food for quite some time until I find the upgrades for the boat so I can get to a new area so I can get that type of food and blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. So you build this relationship by watching him run around the boat and then fix stuff. to then finally be like, awesome, he's ready to go on. We're gonna have our lovely speech. We're gonna make up for what happened in like the real life where he left when we didn't really have a conversation. To then do it again, which is like, I think a reflection on life of sometimes people are just gonna disappear out of nowhere, or you're gonna lose people like in the blink of an eye. Which I hate to think about that Atoll did that twice. God damn it. But man, yeah, that one wrecked me the first time, and then I forgot. So it hurt again the second time. We're like, that's right, he doesn't stick around. Ah!
I remember then, and as soon as the quest popped up to prepare the dinner, I was like, nope, I'm going to stretch this out as long as I can.
You gotta keep him around. You're not going anywhere, Uncle. Oh, man. Atoll. What a guy.
I always loved when he got some food and he was like...
Yeah. He's like, well, that was pretty good. Oh, I love Atoll. And watching him play his flute or his piccolo or whatever he had every time the thunderstorm was going on, I'm like, he's so giddy. He's so happy all the time. I love this guy. Let's see here. This might bleed into the same question, but how many times did you cry during this playthrough? Because, it might have been a handful. Maybe
Once.
How many?
I started at the beginning and I never stopped.
Ah, good. There you go. Oh man. I'd probably say in the row probably in the 3 or 4 spot. Alice absolutely got me again. Stanley got me again. I think this time around, I'm in a more mature person than I was the first time, where Bruce and Mickey hit different. And I think because Gustav is just so cool, I don't necessarily think his departure made me sad, like his final monologue. But I think just seeing like one of my favorite characters, I'm like, okay, now when I leave you, I have a bunch of duds left on the boat, man. I don't want to, I want you to stick around. So yeah, he was probably the 3rd to 4th last one that I set off. So I was like, bye, Gustav, I love you.
Okay.
No. I think, honestly, Elena is the only one I did not cry about.
I get it. Yeah.
There were many others where I was like staying strong, and I remember my boyfriend being next to me, and I'm not gonna cry this time, I swear. No. And then they'd say one thing, and I'd be like, I'd like be like blowing my nose. I remember even yesterday I finished the game and Tofr was actually watching with me. And then at the very end, before you leave, you get all of the spirits back on the boat. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna hug all of them. That's so fun. And then like by the 3rd one, I was already like sobbing just by hugging them. And I was trying to stay strong, and then I also heard like Tofr's voice crack a little. And then I just started bawling, and I just didn't stop anymore. I was like ugly crying, like really like.
Stop! I don't want to do anymore. Oh, that's brutal. How about you, Tofr? How many times we balling? You can count Daphne's Discord one too.
Yeah, that's the thing. I had to go through that twice because I also hugged everyone before leaving. I don't really know how many times I cried. I think with most of the characters, and then I don't know why, but the when you go to the Everdor yourself, that one really gets me.
Yeah.
It hurts.
When you get down to hug Daffodil, and then, oh yeah.
For me, it was especially the moment Daffodil like crawls into your arms and you like actually hug her over here, and then I just lost it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's pronounced Daffodil.
Jesus.
Also, did you have an order in which you hugged the spirits before leaving? Because like I didn't really have an order, but I kept Gwen for last. For some reason, I needed Stella's friend to be the last person to hug before going.
I hugged them in order as I saw them. Not very original.
I'm gonna have to change my order now because when I dropped off Jackie, because I'm still going for the platinum, I still have to wait the week. Speaking of which, my PlayStation fell asleep. Gonna have to do that after podcast. Okay. I probably have rotten food waiting in my mailbox. It's okay. But when I dropped off Jackie and then you're still at the Everdor and everyone's there, like I saw them and I had like the hiccup in my heart. I'm like, I forgot this happened. I forgot they like sat here waiting for you. So I immediately got in the boat and left. So I've still not hugged anybody with the intention of like that final hug will be when I get the platinum. So it'll be like all in one encompassing important moment. I might even have to rearrange my boat just to put everybody in a line. I'm just going to go down and put like the important people at the end. Because I told you're not getting away from me, you son of a bitch. You're getting this damn hug. Yeah, that's, man. I love that moment. It's so good. Let's see here. We talked about the ships look like with the character mini games, etc.
We haven't talked about Astrid and Giovanni yet.
We have not talked about Astrid and Giovanni. Toph, you want to talk about Astrid and Giovanni?
I want to talk about it because it hits home a little bit. See, my mother is a union woman, or was a union woman when she was still working.
Sure.
And she shares a lot of qualities with Astrid. And then my father was like this guy who flirted around and cheated on her, and so you can understand why Astrid and Giovanni was like,
yeah,
it hit home. And again, like I don't dislike Giovanni. I think he's a great character. Yeah. He's just a dick.
He's a dick.
He's just a dick, but he's very lovable. But yeah, it hurt me seeing how Astrid was hurting because of him. That was one that really hit deep.
That one's rough because I remember the first time not really picking up their relationship because I think I was kind of a little bit W-key getting through dialogue. It's a lot of dialogue. It's a lot to read, especially when you're like, I have a 30-minute lunch break, and as much as I want to sit here and read this, I want to play more of this game. And I know they had like relationship problems, but I never really like fully encompassed what exactly was going on. And just Giovanni kind of being the scumbag that he is some days. And like there's the whole mission where she's like, hey, follow him. I want to know what he's up to. And then you come back to be like, yeah, he was cheating, or no, he wasn't cheating. But like, you just choose, are you going to tell Astrid the truth or lie?
What did you do?
Both, because I needed the trophies. So I saved.
Which was your first decision?
Yeah, I think so. The first decision would technically be the non-canon one because I reloaded my save. So I originally lied and said nothing happened. So then for my official one, the real one, I was like, yes, he did. So sorry, Giovanni, stop being a bitch. Like, but yeah, Giovanni's just like this slick character. Like, he's got a great design. I'm gonna bring back Critical Role though. There's a character, Lord Esteros, which everyone be like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But he's like this high society. He's an orc. But for some reason, when I hear like this character in the game, I envision Giovanni. I have for years, and I don't know what exactly it is, but it's the way he carries himself. It's like well, I am your king today. And like, there's just something very Giovanni about that. And I love it. So even though I know this giant character is an orc, I just see Purple Lion anytime this character shows up in the campaign. So I'm like, hell yeah, Giovanni living rent free up here.
I did like, however, like you said, he's like very like, look at me and charming everyone and trying to be like the interesting guy. But then in his dialogue at the Everdoor, it kind of becomes clear that it's all a little bit of a facade. Like he mentions something along the line of that he always tried to be the funny guy and to charm everyone, but deep down he knew that everyone always came for Astrid. And that kind of that layered it a bit for me. He wasn't just the guy that was like, oh, look at me, I'm super interesting, but like, I don't know, I kind of like that layer that they added to it.
Yeah. Oh.
Poor guy
Indeed. What a fool.
But also, fuck you.
Yeah, kinda. Oh,
I was wondering, by the way, like, what do you two think about the introduction of Lily?
I think it's super interesting, right? Because I didn't know, again, going in having not seen these DLC characters, I wasn't sure what they were going to be, and like how much story do they add. And Lily is very much, I would probably say, the least interactable one of the DLC characters, but probably the most poignant story because she sets up like who she is as like Stella's sister.
Yeah.
Yeah. And her existence doesn't progress until you have, I think, like 8 people through the Everdoor. And then she'll just spawn in every night, kind of as a reminder. You can hug her. She doesn't have like an excitement bar or anything. She just kind of like exists as this storyteller for you. And I don't know if there's another way to progress story for her more. I didn't. She just kind of hangs out there. So I keep thinking like something else will happen. But
I
she's
think
really
she
cool.
doesn't really have a story to follow because she's not in what did you call it, limbo?
Limbo,
She's
yeah.
still alive. She's
Right.
like the voice that Stella, while Stella is dying, hears from her sister at her bedside. So I think that's why they didn't really give her like an excitement tracking, no missions really or something.
Yeah.
She's just like the voice you hear that is talking to Stella.
Right.
Mhm.
Blue's really cool.
It is really cool.
Freaking Lily.
And then her going through like the pictures and all of these memories that she recounted. Yeah.
And those are pretty. Those are gorgeous as hell.
Yeah.
Even when they're sad. They're just really pretty art.
I was wondering as well, do either of you know like what actually happened to Stella? Because from the way she appears in the game, she must have died pretty young.
Right.
And especially since Daffodil was the family cat and she took the family cat with her. And cats don't live that long.
Right.
So she should probably still be pretty young.
I don't know. I wasn't thinking about that, I guess. I think in the flashbacks, right, we see like the silhouette of like her with Giovanni in France and everything. I think she definitely appears older than she does as the playable character. And maybe that's just a perspective thing. So I don't know. I guess I kind of envision like youthful young Stella was just her, instead of trying to get into an animal, that's her identity. That's her new personification in Limbo. I don't know. I didn't really think any further about that.
I hadn't thought about it before, but I just kind of now like peeked into the wiki to be sure if there's like anything known actually. And I read here that she had a kind of cancer, a rapidly advancing cancer. It says on the wiki.
That does make sense because Summer does talk about sharing something.
Yeah.
About like she talks about to Stella like mentioning that she knows this dragon as well or something like that.
Right, right. There's a lot of characters with cancer in this game. I think there's like 3 or 4.
I think
it's Summer, Gwen.
Gwen, Summer. There was
Stella.
Stella. No, it wasn't Bruce.
Maybe that was it.
I think it's those 3.
Might be. That might be right.
There's a couple where it's not really mentioned what they died of. No, yeah, it's
I don't want to look at them die again. All right, we're not talking about the dead people. Our memories. But yeah, just because we've brought up the wiki so many times, like this is such a Wikipedia game for me, where like when I sat down, it was game on the screen. The vertical monitor had the wiki up because it's a matter of like, where's the food located? I'm like, shoot, which island is this on? Or where do I go to grab this? Or I'm like, I don't know what to do for this quest. Or they give you one that's just like a find the magical thing. I'm like, I ain't gonna find the magical thing. Okay, it's right here. We're gonna go get the thing, right? And then finding out more about the characters and things that people unpack as they like paid more attention to certain lines of dialogue and everything. So this is definitely one that I'm like, yeah, you should have the wiki up while you play. It's like super helpful and super like cool to have that, like a community that built that whole thing. It's really cool.
Yeah. I don't know if you noticed on the wiki, every spirit also has like these filing cabinet facts that just have like these random facts about the characters that they made up, and there's such funny things in there. Like I remember, I think for Astrid it said like she once slapped a Nazi soldier with a cast iron skillet during the war, and I just think that's so badass.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's so dope. Oh man, we love it. Any other thoughts on Spiritfarer before we move on? We all hated it.
No.
Basically.
When the credits start rolling, you see the people that the characters were based on, or mostly based on. And the fact that the credits open with that right after you said goodbye at the Everdor really hit me in the feels.
Yeah.
But then I noticed that there was like, so you had the names of the people with their birth year and the year they died. And there's one person in those credits with only 1 year. And that really broke my heart.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's I started watching on YouTube. There's The Escapist. They did a documentary with the team about the game. I was only about halfway through before we sat down to record, so I have to go and finish it. But early on, they talk about kind of like, we didn't want to just put our family members in the game, but we wanted the team's real life experiences to kind of be reflected. Like, I think one of the lead devs' grandmother was kind of like almost the sole inspiration for Astrid.
I think Astrid and you were both based on the grandparents of the creative director.
Okay.
What's his name? Nicolas Guerin? I don't know how you pronounce it.
Yeah. I was driving listening to it, so I didn't have like the lower third to see the names, so like, they didn't say it. So I'm like, I don't know the names yet. I have to see. And I think one of the other developers, she was like, my grandmother had passed like right as we were starting development, which led into the development of Alice and like how, similar their stories were. So I'm like, fuck, this is crazy. And I hope this documentary doesn't go into this this simply young child, because I can only imagine that's Stanley related, and I don't know if my heart can handle that. So
I don't think Stanley as a character is based on like family members, but I do know that the drawings that Stanley makes of all the spirits is actually drawn by the 6-year-old son of one of the team members.
Aww.
Yeah.
I love that. That's so cute. Indie games do it right, people. This is why we should play more indie games.
Yeah.
Y'all here playing Call of Duty Black Ops 9 or whatever the fuck comes out this week, and we're playing Spiritfarer, the really good game. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. It's like I mentioned before. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay. It's like I mentioned before. This is like this once in a generation kind of game.
Yeah.
Like I kind of wished that developer Thunder Lotus would make a sequel to this, but I understand why they don't.
Yeah.
Because it would never live up to the original.
Yeah.
And I even wonder, like, I've seen videos of 33 Immortals, and it looks like it's going to be a really cool game. But the thing is, it's the follow-up to Spiritfarer.
Yeah.
And that's a really tough act to follow.
Yeah, I think narratively, I'm excited for 33 Immortals. I'm going to play it. I enjoy what I played in the beta. I'm just waiting to see more fleshed out as we go. But I don't think 33 Immortals will sit with me the same way Spiritfarer has. Like, I don't replay games a lot. Just because, like, I've experienced it once, I'm good. I don't necessarily need to do it again, unless it's Cuphead, but that's just me. But, like, as sad as this was, like, this is such a dope game to replay. Years after I've done it, and if I play it again in 5 years and again another 5 years or whatever, like, that'd be really cool. Like, this is a dope game, and I keep wanting to say it's a fun game, and like Daphne said earlier, like, it's not fun, but like, I don't think games always have to. It's not fun all the time. It's fun half the time, but there's a lot of just like deep shit where I'm like, man, it's gonna be a rough night. We're gonna have a hard one today. Yeah. But let me see here, because you guys had the chance to write in and tell us what you thought about Spiritfarer as well. So I'm going to go through the doc and see what everybody said. First off, we had V Swede, who said, it's such an adorable game, yet it also tackles the topics of death in really interesting and profound ways. Love seeing other people playing through it, with a big old smile emoji on there. We also had Aid Medic, who says Spiritfarer is mwah, chef's kiss. It's an amazing story with such perfect characters, each with specific needs, apart from the greatest character ever, Uncle Atoll the Frog, spells out with P-H-R-O-G. But truly, this game is such a bittersweet experience that has a heavy meaning of life, death, and letting people go. The character I couldn't stop crying over was Alice, and her, spoiler, lost to memory whilst traveling to the Everdor. Whew. The goosebumps. Okay. However, if you haven't played the game, which takes roughly 25 hours or more, not me sitting at my 35-hour clock on PlayStation, I am still sure I'm sure both the amazing podcasters will say that this is an amazing story to grab, especially through Game Pass, which is how I got it. Happy podcasting, Danny, Tofr, and Daphne. Let's see here. We also had Super, who wrote it and said, the art and music is incredible. I enjoy seeing and hearing both the emotion and passion that was put into the game. Meanwhile, the stories are also giving to great to delve into, seeing how they connect and weave each other. My only complaint is that the downtime in between quests and stories can drag on, and while there is a lot that can be done, it can also feel monotonous. That's fair. I think as you get further in, that becomes like such a lesser problem. But yeah, definitely something that's there. Zenoza said Spiritfarer, very cute and looks fun. And to wrap up, the one that just popped in as I refreshed here with Hypno Brent. Never cried so much watching my girlfriend play a game. 10 out of 10 would watch again.
Is he admitting to liking to see me cry?
As I listen, I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Thanks, bro.
Thanks, bro. Straight to the point. Exactly, Zenoza. Exactly. Appreciate all of you guys writing in. Don't forget, you can do that for every monthly podcast. Nothing too short or too long when you want to discuss how you feel about the game. And speaking of discussing how we feel about games, we need to pick a game for November. And Tofr, it's your turn. So what game are we playing in November?
We are playing Sable.
What?
Yeah.
I had no idea because it wasn't in the doc.
I know, right? This is such. Yeah, this is a game that I started playing and then stopped for some reason. I can't even remember why. I never got back to it, and I thought, wait, like this is a perfect reason to go back to it.
Yeah.
So let me read the Steam blurb here.
Absolutely.
Embark on a unique and unforgettable journey and guide Sable through her gliding, a rite of passage that will take her across vast deserts and mesmerizing landscapes, capped by the remains of spaceships and ancient wonders. So basically, it's like a combat-free exploration game with stunning visuals, and I think a really good story.
Yeah, I'm excited to check this one out because it's another one that like I never touched. I remember being super excited about it. I think it was like teased for so long, and then like it finally was here, and one thing led to another. I was like, I just don't have time to pick this one up yet. But we like, what do we pick next? And we kind of like hinted like, we want to do Sable? We might be able to do Sable. I'm like, all right, it's on sale on PlayStation, so let me grab this Sable real quick. So. Let me see. Hypno Brent said, in all fairness, I was talking about myself crying. Let me see. It makes it like a journey.
So
It's very journey
me
coded.
to make him cry more. I can do that.
Do it. Oh, nice. Brent, I gotta be real with you. You kind of asked for that one, brother. You kind of asked for that one. But yes, so for the month of November, we'll be playing Sable, which I think is on Game Pass still. Pretty sure.
Don't know.
We'll find out. You know what I mean? I'd launched the app, but it's going to take 14 years because Xbox for some reason. I should shut up right about it. Listen, whatever's safer for you, brother. But yeah, so that will be our November 26th episode of the podcast. We'll be doing that live on Twitch again to discuss Sable. I was going to say Fable. Sable, and then I think we could probably discuss it now because it's not like a big thing. I think we're planning to do something longer for the month of January through December. So rather than doing a December book club, we'll start in December and do the book club in January to kind of play around the holidays and everything else that'll be going on. Game of the Year awards and blah, 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 blah. So we're not going to tell you what game it is yet, but we'll see, you know? But
yeah, we'll see.
Yes. But that's what our next book club is. Look forward to that. Let me see. We're about an hour. We got this. Let's talk about what we've been playing aside from Spiritfarer. Tofr, would you like to start with what you've been playing?
Sure. I played this beautiful, colorful little game called Fruitbus.
Mm-hmm.
And it is just such a joy, really. You drive around your grandmother's titular fruit bus and make salads and smoothies for this diverse cast of characters. You're also trying to invite people to your grandmother's final farewell party because it's an indie game, so obviously there has to be death.
Why not?
Like as you can see in the video version, you actually have the urn with your grandmother's ashes and passengers
Grandma,
And
get on the
sometimes-
boat.
And sometimes she talks to you.
Aw.
But yeah, what I really appreciate about this game is how tactile it is.
Yeah.
You control both hands separately, which can be like a bit of a headache early on in the game
Okay.
because you can only like carry two things at a time, and then since you're foraging fruits for your fruit salads, you have to go like to like this bush, grab 2 apples, go back to your bus, go back outside, grab 2 more fruits, go back to your bus. It can get a little annoying, but luckily you can buy items to like a backpack and stuff like that to make your life easier. And another example is when you're making the fruit salads, you have to literally pick up the knife, cut the food, put the knife back, then grab a bowl, put the ingredients in the bowl. All of these are separate steps. And if I have one critique of the game is that the controls just didn't feel intuitive to me.
Okay.
Even after playing for a number of hours. But that's nitpicking, to be honest.
I'm definitely interested, right? So when I played the demo probably like a year ago at this point, I think my pain point was the backpack. Because when you would put fruit in it, it wasn't like you were slotting something. It was still stuff that kind of rolled around and moved. So if you'd go to drop it and you kind of hit the edge of the backpack, it would roll out. So I'd sit there for like 3 minutes trying to put a damn apple in the backpack. Is it still operate like that? Did they make it any more like fine-tuned? So it's a little more like I'm actually putting items in an inventory slot as opposed to just kind of physically dropping? Or
the backpack works automatically now. So when you grab fruit and then you hit the button to put it in your backpack, it just gets in there automatically.
Bet.
And then when you want to put them in like the containers in your Fruitbus, you have to throw them in.
Yeah. We love it. Okay. You're wrong with that. Yeah.
Another highlight from this game for me is the driving.
Okay.
Because you're driving in this van and it's making these clanky noises. If you've ever driven a van, you know what I'm talking about. It really feels like driving around, and it's a really good time. Like when you're driving at night and the stars are like illuminating the sky, it's a really pleasant experience.
Hell yeah. Oh man, I want to get in the Fruitbus. I've been looking forward to this one. It's just I haven't got time. Where's the time? Yeah, dude, Fruitbus is great.
It is.
Let me see here. Daphne, would you like to talk about either of your games next? I'll let you pick whichever you like.
I've been mostly playing my time at Sandrock.
Okay.
For like the, I don't know, 3rd or 4th time already. But this time it was with a purpose, because one specific person who does not have the time to play this game really wanted to know the story of the game, so I'm just playing for this person. Aren't I, Tofr?
What? I have no idea what's going on.
Totally not for my own entertainment or joy, like I'm not even enjoying this, I'm just doing this merely for you.
Basically work.
Yeah, no, this is besides like Spiritfarer and then Baldur's Gate 3 in the top 3 of my favorite all-time games right now.
Damn. It's high praise.
Yeah. I haven't yet to find a game in this genre that like entertains me this much.
Okay.
I've tried Stardew Valley. A lot of people like say they are similar. It's not like people say they are similar, but Stardew Valley just never really clicked for me. I'm sorry, Tofr, don't kill me.
What?
But this one just instantly clicked for me. I don't know. I think it was a friend of mine. I think it was Kevin who one day just said, "Oh, I saw this game. I think this might be up your alley." And at first I was like, doesn't look like anything I'd enjoy. But then I bought it anyway because I was bored and I had no games to play. And then I fell in love. Yeah.
Who's this big guy? It's like a big frog dude.
It's a lizard, actually.
Yo, he's cool.
Larry the Lizard King.
Yo. I didn't want to beat him up. Want him to join my village or whatever.
Yeah, no,
That's
I
so
feel
cool.
like it's like the perfect combination of like a little bit of farming, a little bit
Yeah.
of like building items, interaction. There's like romances and friendships that you can build, and there's like dungeon crawling where you can fight monsters. And I'm just like never bored, and it's stuffed full of like funny pop references. And
Okay.
just always funny, isn't it?
It is.
Always.
I'm a big fan.
So now you're just doing like a let's play for Tofr exclusively? Is that what I'm
Basically. I was wanting to replay for like the whatever many time, and then Tofr mentioned like, oh, can I watch? And then now I just wait to play until Tofr is online so that he can like follow the story. Aren't I
It's
just
a
the
good
best
story.
little friend?
It's good friends. Tofr.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know how much prestige it is? You're the only person on the planet who gets to watch that let's play. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I am very privileged.
I'm saying
And
that sounds like good content for YouTube. Daphne plays, you watch, that's double commentary. We're playing. I'm saying that's some YouTube content. I'm just spitballing out here. I don't know.
I also pledged for the new game that they have announced. Pathea. I don't know how you pronounce it actually. They announced
Pathea.
the third one in the series, My Time at Evershine, to come out in 2026, I think.
Right. We did talk about that one.
Looking.
Yep.
so
The
gorgeous.
Kickstarter was Kickstarter finished, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. And I bet they flopped, right? They definitely didn't get all their funding on day one. I'm sure.
Oh no. I mean, they got like, I think I've got it in my mails. Let me see. Like 1,415% funded.
Oh, well, I
They
stopped
went-
them. I thought you were gonna say dollars. I'm like, that's all. There's no shot. Then you said
No.
percent. And I'm like, holy.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. They went for 200,000 and they got like $2,870,342.
God damn.
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah.
We need to make a game, guys. We need to... That's how I get $2 million. Holy shit. Okay. Noted. Connor and I have been talking about making a rat game. It'd be like one of those like Dead by Daylight clones, except there's a giant person and you're trying to kill all the rats running around your kitchen. Don't steal our idea. But we've been talking about this. It's just called Rat Game. Okay, hold on. That's crazy. Good for them. Like this team seems to have their thing figured out, and I don't know if like the life sim, like My Time in Blank, is like just their planned destiny for like the rest of their games, but it's working for them, so why not?
It is. And I feel like they really listened to the players as well. Like they learned from all of the comments they had from My Time at Portia, and they really built on that for Sandrock. And I feel as far as they communicate very well as well.
Okay.
And I feel like they're now really listening to all of the comments that are coming from Sandrock to build Evershine.
Hell yeah. It's a good team. It's a good team you got there.
We like it when developers listen to us.
Right? Absolutely. Some of you AAAs, you don't get it. Did by Daylight mention? Oh no, don't worry about it. We didn't talk about it. It's fine. I see Medic mentioned it looks like Sable's not on Game Pass, so I'm sorry everybody. We tried. Tell Xbox. Would you also like to talk about Baldur's Gate? Or you want me to take one quick?
You go. I think everyone in chat already knows about Baldur's Gate, and my friends that are in the chat know about my obsession with Baldur's Gate, so it's fine.
If it's an excuse for us to talk about Baldur's Gate, I'm not gonna stop you because now we got mods. I can finally play my actual TTRPG character, and I'm having a good time with it. So
it's not like I'm on my 14th run already. It's fine. It's not a big deal.
Now, how many have you finished?
3.
That's still 3 more than me. So I got to Act 3. I got to right outside of Baldur's Gate, and then there was a heavy dialogue, and I was like, I can't listen to this right now, and then I just never got back. So sorry, Baldur's Gate. But Flux will make it this time. Hold on. I guess I should talk about one that I finally got to play.
Yes.
So we talked about it plenty on. Oh right, we're live on Twitch. I'm trying to play my VOD while we're live on Twitch. I don't know if it's gonna work well. So I this past week got a key for Slay the Princess Pristine Edition. I finally got to play Slay the Princess, and holy fuck. This game is something else. God, this video is terrible. Let's not show this. I thought this would look better, but it looks like a mess. Someone's gonna come in all confused. Anyway, so yeah, Slay the Princess is like this visual novel game. You're playing as the hero, and you have to go slay the princess because the narrator says so. And to avoid as many spoilers as possible, because I don't want to get super deep into it for anyone who's like, I'm gonna play, or like, I don't know if I'm gonna play, and you should play. Damn, like. I know people loved it, and it's one of those games that, like, when everyone says they love it and they kind of explain it to you, and when you're not, at least for me, when you're not looking at it, you're like, I can see what you're trying to tell me, but like until my hands are on it, I don't quite see like the love for it yet, but I'm not denying the love. And starting early, I was just like, it seems simple enough. I'm not like super blown away quite yet. Until I got to like the second loop and I kind of wrapped my head around what the loop was going to be. And I'm like, okay, hold on, I'm figuring this out. And then I roll in there, and the princess is like, oh, you're not gonna kill me, are you? I'm like, no, of course not. I love you. And then she fucking stabs me in the throat, right? And I'm like, wait a second, whoa, you're not supposed to do this. Where I thought I was gonna save you. But then that leads to another path, and I'm doing the thing with chat where I'm doing the red yarn on the cork board of like, okay, so if I take this path, but if I don't kill her, but if I bring the knife and then throw the knife, that's going to make her do this. But if I do this, no, she's going to kill me if I do that. Okay, so if I go back and do this way, and trying to build each path that I want to take. Meanwhile, I had people in chat like, hey, I want to see you do this path. So I did the, I guess the one good ending for like the princess path, the witch. For anyone who might be already available to know what that is, but I did that path. I'm like, oh, this is really cute. However, you get the point of like, do you want to do nice thing, or bad thing? And of course I saved and then did both bad things first because I wanted to see what would happen. And someone in my chat was freaking out. They were like, oh my God, Danny, take this and do like the really happy one. I'm like, okay, save. Slay the princess, and then just like stab her. And he's like, no, why did you do that? No, I'm like, I'll reload. I'm like, leave her. And then that's not a good one either. But no, I was like so invested. And what I love is that it's so gorgeous for something that is so simply done. And I don't know how much from tactile art to like digital they do. But I guess everything's hand drawn, like pencil and paper. And if I had to guess, they just scan it in and then probably add some kind of wiggle modifier to like add the extra little life to it. Or they did two separate drawings of the same scene, so it does that lively thing. I don't know how that all went together and how they did it, but every frame is so freaking beautiful. I have so many freaking screenshots of ones where I'm like, oh my God, she's so adorable. Oh my God, this scene's so pretty. To like, oh my God, step on me. I was like, wait a second, whoa, what are we doing here? Like, there are all these different emotions in this game. Like, this is awesome. This is so great. So I've completed 5 of the endings, I think, like the narrative endings.
Okay.
So I think I have one more to do, but like as I look at the trophy list, I have like 19 out of 51 trophies. So I still have all the different like paths to complete and everything. So I plan to do that here in the future. But man, it is a cool game. You're right, Tofr. It's pretty cool.
I know. Oh, I love hearing you say that. Say it again.
No.
Oh.
Hey, Tofr, this game's pretty cool.
Yes, it is. It is. And there's so much content to it, and I can't wait to dive into the pristine cut. Because I played it for a couple of hours when it originally came out last year. Yeah. But I think there's like 35% more game now. Yeah. So I am so ready to play. Yeah.
Because I want to play through and then find out. Like, I don't want to Google it now to find out what the new stuff is. But like once I would eventually complete it, I want to see what's the new stuff. Because I feel like people who may have completed it before could tell and be like, oh, this was the brand new one. But all this is new to me. So I have no idea what's new and what's not. So I'm like, let's go. Let's find out. I gotta find more of these endings. Had so many of that last feeling. The art in Slay the Prince is absolutely divine. This Slay the Spire sequel is kind of not what I expected. Exactly. Honestly, it's weird. You didn't expect the studio to make the departure. But let's see. All right, now I'm gonna force it. Daphne, we have to talk about Baldur's Gate now.
Oh.
So how's your run of Baldur's Gate going? What you doing these days? What kind of character you playing?
Right now, I'm doing a run together with my boyfriend where I am a Githyanki sorcerer.
Okay. Ooh.
And he is, oh my god, he's gonna kill me. He is a rogue ranger multi-class dwarf. I
believe
think.
it. I see it. I see it. You're more like 20.
I gotta be honest, we played a lot, but then as soon as I knew I was gonna be joining the stream tonight, I like moved it aside a little bit to play Spiritfarer, so it's been like I think a week or two since we played last.
I get it,
But
I get it.
we
Get
also
backburnered, boyfriend.
Yeah. Exactly. He knows his place. Francesca, I love you. I'm sorry. Anyways, no, we reached Act 3. I think we're like, I want to say halfway through Act 3.
Okay.
Like in map area, but like in quests nowhere near half Act 3.
Gotcha.
Like Act 3 is like really huge.
Yeah.
You've reached Baldur's Gate, but like I think there's like an equal amount of game in Act 3 alone as there is in Act 2, 1 and 2 together.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Damn, that's a lot. That's a lot.
But it's fun though.
I have had so much fun with Baldur's Gate, and like right now I'm at the spot where I almost wish there were just different beginnings, and that's maybe like one of my favorite things that Cyberpunk did, where like, oh, I can start the game 3 potential different ways, and the amount of times I've woken up in this Nautiloid, then like Lyzel's like, where you going? I'm like, fuck out of my way already, just leave me alone, I'm just trying to get through here. But I couldn't play with mods for the longest time because so my actual D&D campaign, I'm playing Flux, who is an Air Genasi bard, College of Eloquence. He's a shit talker. He's so good at it. I basically by default cannot roll lower than a 22 when I do a charisma check. So I'm like, this is my guy. And I just want to make him in Baldur's Gate, and I can't do it. And then my chat was like, oh, you know, they added like mod support in the game now. I'm like, no, they fucking didn't.
Yeah.
Did they? And I was like, okay, but do they have this? And someone's like, yeah, they have Air Genasi. I'm like, okay, but do they have Eloquence Bard? Like, Danny, they have it. I'm like, chat, I'm about to end stream and I'm going to have to go play Baldur's Gate. Because I've been trying to, because with the actual mod, like the software, anytime I would load the mods, it was just a big black room with Dark Urge and then like 40 naked dudes. Like that's just what the game would load. So I could never actually play. And that was very frustrating for me.
And that's a bad thing, how?
It's the bad thing in the way that I just couldn't play the game, but honestly, for the right guy, you know, you know, Listeners knows if there's a Byleth mod, it's game over. We're doing a whole new run and that's it. You know how we feel for Byleth. But yeah, Baldur's Gate just seems like so timeless as much as I am like, oh, I want to see them make a new intro so I can kind of not play the same thing every time. But it's still fun to get to play a different character every time and see like how they function. So, I love Baldur's Gate.
True that.
Mm-hmm. Have you played any Baldur's Gate lately?
It's been a while. I like Danny. You know how many games there are to play.
I do. Like, I do.
I can't find the time.
You just got to make days longer. 36 hours, easy.
Yes, please. Yes.
Not the Nico Robin mod. It's done. Whole internet on Baldur's Gate. Yeah, I'd hop on. I would play a One Piece mod for Baldur's Gate. Boy, oh boy. Let me see here. I guess around what we've been playing, because it's not too long to discuss. Into the Dead, Our Darkest Days. I actually played this one at PAX behind closed doors. I talked about it in our PAX episode, and now they put out a new demo so everyone can play it. This game is so cool. I can't wait to play the full thing. I'm currently sucking in the demo that I'm playing, so I'm hoping I can do a new run. But I guess there's mobile versions of this game that have Into the Dead, a few different versions already. But this new one just has some like gorgeous visuals where you're playing in zombie apocalypse, obviously, but it's this 2D side scroller where you send your team out to scavenge for items. You're picking up weapons, you're beating up zombies. But I think the biggest thing is how many times the actions can play to like the morale of your team. So like, for example, I haven't played it in this demo, but the one I played at PAX, I can't think of the actual like status that it was called. But if you go at night, there is a room in this one facility that is just littered with dead bodies hung up on the wall, hooks pulling their skin apart. And like when your character sees that, they are just scarred for life. So, and by for life, I mean for like a set amount of time, which I think for my character at the time was like 5 days in game. So for those 5 days, my stats were just like, here, there was an example, this guy running here against this wall. This is the room up against the wall. It's just a bunch of people hanging there, and you get like sick, and your damage and health are all like depleted for like 5 days. And there's all these different effects where like morale drops when you send someone out and they die. But then you can send that other character out to the same place in the next morning to find that body and pick the resources back up so you don't lose them. But then if that person dies and that's the last person you have, you're all dead. But then you can find more people to bring back to your camp. It's just like a really almost just like Vampire Survivor Simulator that I like, as opposed to being like the first person action shooter with killing zombies and everything. This has a different take to it. I love getting to sit with the devs and kind of talk about how it functioned. And then, oh yeah, this is part where like it's a scripted one where the police car alarm goes off and then just like 20 zombies like, oh, I'm gonna kill that guy. Oh, he's dead. And yeah, you die. So, but yeah, I've only played maybe
I'll
like
be
an
right
hour and a
back,
half.
by the way. I just need to. Yeah. I need a quick bathroom break.
This Tofr guy.
Continue on.
But yeah, no, that's just a really cool one. So I would recommend check out the demo if you have it Steam available. It's right there. It's only a little scary.
Only a little scary.
Only a little scary. Oh boy, oh boy.
Can I handle a little scary?
Honestly, it's not. Yeah, I think you got it. And if you don't, blame the boyfriend. Should have protected you. That's all it really is. So let me see here. I think that's all we've been playing. So real quick, I'll run us through the indie releases this week. This is for the week. Why have it on the big monitor? Bring it over here so I can see it, Danny. Look at the camera, dude. First up for the week of November 1st through November 7th, we have Pepachura Craft Edition, November 5th for PlayStation and Switch. Then we have Redline Crooks, November 6th for PC. Trash Goblin, we've been talking about that. We love that one over here, dropping in early access on PC on November 6th. Mirthwood, November 6th for PC. Atomic Picnic, November 7th for PC and early access. Chicken Police, Into the Hive, November 7th for PC. And then Magical Bakery on November 7th for PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, and PC. And those are all the games coming out. Any of those screaming to you, Daphne? Any of those you're going to be picking up or playing?
I do remember trying the Trash Goblin demo. Okay. I am looking forward to that one.
Yeah, I think we all are. Trash Goblin looks great. I'm very excited for that one.
I'm gonna be completely honest. Most of the other ones I don't know.
Yeah, I know Mirthwood's one that every time it comes up, I'm like, I know that one. I just can't remember which one it is. And then I look at it, I'm like, oh yeah. And then Atomic Picnic, I think, is one of those like almost Risk of Rain 2-esque kind of roguelike things. I might be wrong, but the combat looks similar, so. Since Tofr's pooping or pissing or whatever they're doing. Any other games you're looking forward to playing in the near future here? Now that you're officially done with Spiritfarer, you can just be like, all right, what's next?
Well, as I mentioned early in the podcast, I'm the type of person who like grabs one game and then only plays that one. Mm-hmm. So I've been playing Sandrock, and I will be playing Sandrock for the foreseeable future.
Okay, there you have it. That's the only game left.
Because I think it's not officially mentioned, but the game like kind of exists out of 3 acts. Okay. And I'm not sure how many hours we're in, but we're quite deep into the game, even though we're still not past Act 1. So.
Jesus.
Wait, seriously?
It's a big one.
So I was like, we just started? Is it fairly scripted? Is it like each time where you're like, I know where to go, I know what to grab, and I know how to get to the end like relatively fast? Or is it...
Well, I might be biased because it's not my first run, so I know everything by heart.
Right.
But I feel like the first time I played, there was like maybe 2 or 3 instances where I was like completely clueless and where I actually had to look it up, but most of the time it's like pretty clear what to do, what to grab, where to grab it.
Hell yeah. There you go. Tofr, you gotta respect it. You're getting this limited run. But I don't know if I had any other favorite indie write-ins, anything. I closed the tab, so we don't have any indie write-ins. That's fine. But with that, ladies, gentlemen, non-binary friends out there, that is our podcast for this week. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you hanging out. Those of you who played Spiritfarer along with us, thank you so much. Get ready to play some Sable leading into November. Before we wrap up, my good old friend Daphne, thank you for joining us today for this episode of the podcast. I appreciate having you on.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
And I love how you actually predicted that by the end of the game you'd just be saying Daphne.
Daphne.
Again.
Yep.
And you have?
Desensitized. Now I'll give the funny backstory, right? Because when Tofr's like, I made the doc, we threw it together. I was like, cool, let me put the intro, and I just typed Daphne, Dafne, no accents or anything, and it's like, Tofr, what the fuck? Why don't you? He's like, it wasn't me. I was like, what? Listen, I'll fix it when I get to. I just had to fill in the space so I didn't forget it later. And you're like, do you even have accents on the keyboard? I'm like, no, I have to go to Google and Google accents. And I don't even remember what the name of the accent is. I was like, is that the accent of goo? I don't remember. So then I had to copy paste. You're like, I'm worth it. So I'm like, fine. So I went to look up the accent, and then I intentionally saw the wrong one. Not only was it the wrong accent, it was the little carrot one, but it was also the capital E. So I just copy and pasted that in to be like, bam. And you're like, no, that's the wrong one. And
That's worse.
and I was like, okay, I'll fix it. Then I put the real one in, but it was funny. So, anyway, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, outros. If the people on the internet wanted to find you, follow you on social media, where could they go? Where could they find a little bit of Daphne in their life? Say Daphne in their life.
Daphne. They'll find me on TikTok, Instagram, and I think most other like Discord and Steam on _daffodil with PH, because my name is written with PH 94. That's the year I was born.
Hey, let's go. And then Tofr, my esteemed partner. Where would the people go if they wanted to find you?
The easiest way would be my Linktree, which is Play Nice Kids in one word.
There you go. No underscores this time, baby. That's for the socials.
No.
Oh,
What'd you get for Blue Sky? Did you get underscores? Did you get periods?
Let me check, because I don't know.
I was hoping it was the question marks.
It should be dots, because I usually try to have dots, but
yeah.
let me just check, because now I'm curious.
Absolutely. And while
it's dots.
The dots. Oh, we got the dots. We got the dots, baby. We got the dots. But then of course you guys can find me at CGDannyB on all the socials, Twitter, Blue Sky. Hold on, follow us on Blue Sky. It's a safer place now. It's where all the indie guys are talking. We like it over there, so come join us on Blue Sky. And with that is the end of our episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Everyone have a great time. Play some more indie games, and I'm gonna go find something to drink because my throat is tired.